Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is May 2nd, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Aussie dollar jumps after a rate hike. But first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the Japanese yen break through resistance and looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ tapering off right before the FOMC rate decision tomorrow in the evening. Now looking at commodities, gold and oil remain unchanged also. And looking at the stocks, Facebook continues to strengthen and trade higher while the rest of the stocks pretty much tapering off. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're going to start out with the Aussie USD. And we could see this nice little perk this morning. I mean, you could almost taste it. It's just trading in a range. It was at the bottom of the range. The rate decision came out and boom, went higher. Okay, now this rate decision was earlier this morning because it's coming out of Australia. So it's a little bit hard to trade. But looking at it right now, you could probably fade this move. Okay, which means it's going to be a counter move on the opposite direction. And so this may create itself a, counter move opportunity on the downside. So keep this on the radar as this trades later today. Now looking at the other markets against the USD, the Euro USD just sitting there waiting for this FOMC rate decision. If we look at the GBP USD, also just sitting there at that resistance-ish level, nothing really doing. However, looking at the Japanese yen, this is very interesting. We traded lower once again to 137. Now, this is important because we're breaking above the 200-day moving average, which is really significant. Okay, now it's got to clear it and stay above it for it to clear further. And this is what we're looking at. Okay, so keep that in mind as this is trading higher. Now, it's still at resistance-ish level, as you could see previously before at this 137. But if it clears it, then we could go up to 141. That's the direction, at least for now. So keep an eye on this as this is still unfolding. Gold remains unchanged, just hugging that 1982 support level. Okay, crude oil also remains very unchanged. Okay, just at $76 really day to day. If we look at a 4-hour chart, that is as crunched as you get and untradable as you get for that matter. Okay, so until this is going to show us some directional move, just keep it on the back burner. Looking at the U.S. markets, now I do expect us to be on low volume going into this FOMC rate decision tomorrow and really in a very choppy market. And that's very indicative right here. We're at 34,169. We tapered off from 34,300-ish level from yesterday, the other day. Okay, you could see that quite clearly, almost like a perfect resistance. And so keep this in mind that we're going to be in a choppy environment until tomorrow, until we get some direction. Now looking at the NASDAQ also, trading at 13,300-ish level at the top of that level. Now, this is a little bit stronger, okay? And it's stronger because Facebook is stronger. Look at that at 24,300-ish level. And this is getting stronger, okay? Not giving up its gains and holding on to that gap up and gap up higher, okay? However, looking at Microsoft did take a little bit of a break, okay, at 305 after hitting 308-ish level. So there is some profit taking. If we look at Amazon, also traded lower to 102 after hitting 110, which was a nice move. So there's a little bit of a divergence in the market because they're not all going together and hanging out, okay? I mean, usually when the markets are going higher, they're going higher all together as a herd. Usually when they're going lower, they're going all together as a herd. But now it's seems like every man for his own, and they're going in separate directions here. Now looking at JP Morgan, also had a nice gap up this morning. Okay, you can see that quite clearly, and it sold off. Now it had a gap up. It's got to sustain itself, okay, but it's closer to its 143. And the more it doesn't break this 143 on the upside, the more that's going to be a resistance and more implication that it will have some downwards momentum at some point. Okay, now lastly, looking at Bitcoin, not doing much here, 28,000, just hanging out at that support level, which is good because it shows us it's not going further down, but not necessarily going further up either. So keep this in mind as this is still unfolding. Again, I'm going to emphasize this once more. Rate decision this Wednesday evening. From the United States, it's an interest rate decision. Market's going to be choppy going into it. And then out of Europe, the following day, we have main refinancing rate from the Central Bank of Europe. So it's going to be a choppy week. Just keep that in mind. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.